My name is Irfan Awan. We all are welcome here. My presentation is about specifically English learners and especially about BS English learners. As you can see from the topic, functional English courses for BS English students in the University of Islamabad, a needs analysis view. So basically, you can say it's little unique topic in the sense that to know exactly what are the needs, language needs of the students, what are the immediate needs, what are the future needs, what is basically pragmatic, functional language need of the students. So I analyzed basically on the concept of a learning centered theory here, and I collected data from the students and from the alumni, from the teachers, English teachers, the collection from heads of department, interviews were conducted, and same way I conducted interviews of HEC Syllabus Revision Committee, convener of HEC Syllabus Revision Committee as well. So I found some data and analyzed it. Findings were there. There's some recommendations too. Okay. As far as the importance of this study, as you know, it's quite significant because mostly, as you know, the system here which exists is based on cramming, and we actually mostly are quite theoretical in language. So, what's the functional use of language and how we as English learners basically how they can apply the skills, especially writing, reading skills, in the pursuit of higher education and professional careers. So it was about basically what are the students' wants and needs, and how whether the syllabus which is taught to them in different universities in the Twin Cities, especially in Islamabad, whether that syllabus fulfills the need or not, and what about the appropriateness of that material. All that was studies. So as far as the analysis encompasses the required reading and writing skills. So focuses on this course specifically. First, I presented four courses, but then it was narrowed down to one specific course, which is taught in all the universities, especially to BS English learners, and that is reading and writing course. But it's with little different titles. Overall, the content provided by HEC is same in all the universities, but whether that is followed or not, the concept is followed, that is modified, that is extended, how teachers teach that, what is the effectiveness of that teaching, all that was the objective. Okay, so basically it was a data collection based on a learning centered approach and given by Hutchinson Waters, and they were basically the first researchers based on needs analysis, and they gave the concept and the model of the needs analysis research. So as far as I've told you already that the analysis of needs and wants of the students, same way it was to evaluate the suitability of the study material, and then there were some suggestions, recommendations, so that how the students' needs can be met, can be addressed on immediate or on the future basis. Okay, so this was the primary research question. To what extent basically the functional English courses meet the academic, immediate, future needs of the students? And there were some secondary questions as well, as you can see here. Uh, Basically, to what extent reading and writing skills are required in the academic setting? Because mostly it is, you can say, it is the labs of our education system that we are assessed in writing throughout our educational career. No assessment in listening, no assessment in speaking. But in other education systems, there is assessment of these skills as well. But all of the focus was in these two skills. What could be the perceived English language needs in the students, what they think about the needs, and to what level are they taught effective reading and writing skills in classroom. And the last was how much is the study material appropriate according to the learning objectives of HEC course outlines. As far as the delimitation, the sample population of study were current BS English students, and they were alumni, English language teachers, heads of different departments, members of HEC syllabus committee, and same way the convener of HEC was You know, well, I should take the name as well. Still, he is the convener of HEC Syllabus Revision Committee. Anyway, so there was basically collection of quantitative data and qualitative data both, and the data was analyzed with the help of statistical package for social sciences, that is SPSS, and mostly it's used especially as far as linguistics is concerned. As far as the input, as you can see, the personal data, current practices, improvement methods, same way, then input leads to the process, and this was the process of research, gathering of data, sorting of data, interpretation of data, analysis of the current practices and needs of the students in selected private and government universities. And these three universities were Namal, and Traditional Islamic University, and Foundation University. And the research primary question already have told you. That was basically the output to find whether this question is being addressed, how it is addressed, and what's the finding, and then there was recommendation followed by the findings. University student distribution, IIU and Naman Foundation University. They all are the students from the English language and literature, BS English students. As you can see, the distribution here, and university alumni, 10 alumni were taken from each of these universities who already graduated and who studied these courses, who got the degrees, and what was their comments, what they thought about this course, and what was their experience, and what they actually, what they thought, that is the finding as well. I've taken, there are many tables, but some important tables I've mentioned here. As you can see, this is a data collected through questionnaires from students. The students almost 120 from all these universities, and questionnaires were distributed to them. Then there were findings on these questionnaires. So, as far as my teacher teaches effective strategies in reading and writing skills, goals to achieve learning objectives, and you can see here 65% agree, strongly agree, 35. So basically, it's not percent; it's out of 120. Then the effective reading strategies such as skimming is taught efficiently. So they thought that skimming is taught efficiently compared to scanning. If we see the data on scanning, you can see the reading strategy here. Just 48.33%, 33% agree that they were taught efficiently scanning skill. Maybe they were not very clear. Teachers didn't go in details and didn't teach them specific information and targeted how to apply the skills. But anyway, mostly thought that skimming is taught more efficiently than scanning in reading. Okay, so I am taught grammatical components such as parts of speech and practical context to improve my writing skills. And this is quite strange. Like students of BS English, and they are taught sometime in functional English the basics of English, and their concepts are still not clear. I mean, I asked a few students there, do you know about conditional sentences, about compound complex? And students of BS students, even they were not all, but some students were not clear about that. But they're taught the basics, and they shouldn't be taught the basics actually. Already they have some basis, that background, they should be that should be capitalized instead of just teaching them what they have studied in matric or in FSC or college level. So as you can see that 46 students agreed here, and they 32 students strongly agreed that they are taught grammatical components, so the basic components. And my teacher gives a lot of practice activities to enhance reading skills. Here you can see the stats. So strongly agree 41 students out of 120. Same way I consider the reading and writing skills course in BS English program for learning language. How very important, 56.67% students had this thought that it is very important. 33.33 students percent said that it was useful. Same way, I'm satisfied with the contents of reading and writing skills course in my BS English program. And here, out of 120, 54 agree with it, 36 strongly agree. And other is uncertain, disagree. You can see the stats data here. Lexical resource, vocab building. 56.67% students thought they are not taught vocab building. So this is basically more negative than positive, right? and they're not actually, maybe they don't do those activities which enhance their vocab. Same way, grammatical inaccuracy, how many are taught here? 57.50% said yes. Okay, as far as next, critique of research paper, the mostly students said no. They are not taught skills, especially reading, writing, through critique of research paper. And here, as you see, that 93 students said they are not taught out of 120, and just 27 were positive about it. By what strategy you learn mostly? It's quite interesting. Which strategy helps them to learn mostly? It's about the students who are current students of BSc English, and 48 students thought that the most important, the effective strategy was in a group study. Okay, as far as the findings of the study, a question was asked about lecture as a teaching tool used in the reading and writing skills course, and large majority of the students regard it as the most effective tool for study. And I think mostly teachers give lecture in their classes. They don't actually apply the communicative learning as far as activity-based learning, active learning in the class. That lacks here. And the use of multimedia is still not common in Pakistani universities, and teachers prefer to use conventional strategy of using whiteboards in classrooms. And unluckily, sometimes they need to ask and get permission for projectors from their coordinators and from the office, and even then they are not provided that. Okay. The responses from HODs and the selected universities, I can see the responses of head of departments from these three universities, and these were their based on the question on the interviews. These were the responses. Both skills are important. Reading skills more important than writing. Mostly it was thought, and then important another one of the heads stressed on the needs of setting up the writing skill lab in the universities, as there are such labs found in the developed countries and don't have any writing lab. We have the labs for uh, listening and real oral drill is done there, but there's no lab setup as far as writing skill enhancement is concerned. Same way, the idea of establishing writing labs is an innovative idea in Pakistan and need to uh, and it should be adopted is the need of modern education. Then there's some more recommendations by the head of departments. You will see that there is no proper training of teachers, so the strategies used are not very productive for the learners. As you think that the course outline is a kind of roadmap, it's followed. Sometimes teachers are quite autonomous in their classes, and they actually take that leniency and they teach in their own way. They don't follow the course outline as well. As already suggested, the proper training of teachers are needed so that they may prepare students to cope with the future needs. Anyway, feedback from HEC Syllabus Revision Committee, and here the members of HEC Syllabus Revision Committee said that all the contents of these courses were designed that there still there will be sequential progress of the learners, including academic writing. And I've gone through this HEC guideline. It's very basic, by the way, and I think my thinking is that, in my perspective, uh, the functional English courses should be little advanced for BS English learners compared to the students of other departments of IT, business department, because they study the essential skills. But BS English learners, they should go to the advanced level of functional English. Okay. Then they highlighted that in order to make things harmonized, HEC only guides the universities about the contents of the courses, and that should be taken as guidelines. Okay, feedback from HE Syllabus Review Committee. There are more points about this, as you can see here. As far as the convener, the head of the HE Syllabus Review Committee conveyed that purpose of these courses that undergraduates of BS level must be acquainted with functional use of English. That is helpful for them in their research and the future pursuit, and same way in their professional careers. Recommendation. This is the last slide. Please be patient. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna conclude. Keeping in perspective the wants the lecture, the use of multimedia, different web resources, presentation by students, proper assessment and feedback, sharing course outline with the learners, conducting workshops and seminars are needed to develop the confidence of the student. And last but not the least, material relevant to functional use of English should be provided to the students for the enhancement of the reading skills, and conducive counseling sessions need to be conducted. And they should be provided course outlines at the start of the course so that they follow. the course outlines, and they actually work on that and they find some additional material. Thank you very much. I conclude my presentation.